guys, how's it? Kia ora to my kiwi whanau. Good day to everyone else. Howdy from Texas. Man, it's Sunday. A couple more MLR games cracking off today. I am on my way to Anton's in Roanoke to pick up some South African confectionery snacks and goodies and maybe even get me a little bite to eat. Because Anton makes everything from scratch in his kitchen there in Roanoke. If you have not been there, you should check it out. If you're a Texas man, meat. Lots of meat. That's the South African diet. It's meat and veggies. So perfect for the Texas diet, man. So it's time to do another one of my opinion videos, man. Like, these seem to do pretty well with my domestic and international followers, and you guys always seem keen to have discussions about my opinions on the world of rugby, man. So, round 6 currently going on, Major League Rugby. Obviously, you guys saw, always at the games for my boys, the Jackals. If I'm not at them, I'm doing the live broadcast. That's my team. I support them 100%, behind it all the way. And it's just kind of a look at the whole of Major League Rugby. Earlier this week, there was a thing going around on social media showing all the South African players that are currently playing here in Major League Rugby. And I mean, it didn't even have all of them on there. They were missing probably about a dozen guys that didn't even make the list on there. Adrian Carlson was on there. Carla Denason, I don't think I saw him on there. Everyone. Gordon Basson was on there. Like, it's just, there's so many South Africans playing in Major League Rugby this year. And obviously, you guys know me. I mean, you see the shirt I'm wearing. I don't care. I love my South African brothers. But it's kind of a look at the whole of a league. And you look at the teams that are struggling this year, and you look at the teams that are doing really, really well this year. And it's just something I've been following this league for 5 years now, and I've kind of started to notice a trend. It's not an alarming trend. For me, obviously, from the offset, any of you guys that have been following me, you know my love for Southern Hemisphere rugby is unequaled. I will go to the death supporting Southern Hemisphere teams. Even the ones I don't like Australia. The Wallabies are bloody rubbish. They're trash. I'd still pick them, over a Northern Hemisphere team, just because I think the Southern Hemisphere does it, and they do it right. You've had one Rugby World Cup won north of the equator, and that was by England in 2003. The rest of them have been held down strongly by the Southern Hemisphere. 3 by South Africa, 3 by New Zealand, 2 by Australia. Is that trend going to change in this next World Cup? It remains to be seen. France is looking really solid in Six Nations, but we've seen this before. We've seen Ireland have a really solid Six Nations, and they didn't make it past the quarterfinal. It's just the different competition level in the Southern Hemisphere. The games are just that much more brutal. It's just that much more, baptism by fire, as they'd say here. If you're not sure if you're a man and you're playing for the Springboks, line up against the All Blacks. You'll find out that day whether you're a man or not. And that's what I love about South African, Southern Hemisphere rugby. So if you look at the MLR as a whole, and you look at the teams that are doing really, really well this year, teams like Austin, teams like Atlanta, Seattle's doing okay, LA's okay, San Diego doing very, very well. And what do these teams all have in common? Very heavy on Southern Hemisphere imports. Very heavy. Very heavy. I mean, even Houston, they're kind of hit or miss right now, but they're calling them the Saberboks. You got Heineke Meyer running that program, Put to Human. It's the Saberboks, man. Major League Rugby is geared towards the Southern Hemisphere style. And you could be like, oh, how can you say that? Look at my Dallas Jackals. We've got a premiership guy with over 300 caps. We've got a couple of other premiership guys with over 75 caps. And we're at the bottom of our division. Now, you could say it's expansion, whatever. I've never seen premiership players do well in this league. Look at the history. They do not do well in this league. The best players that do well in this league played in Super Rugby or Currie Cup, Southern Hemisphere competitions. And that's just the fact of the matter. That's how it is. That's how it works. So, with that being said, yeah, we do well when we have Northern Hemisphere talent or Southern Hemisphere talent. So you go do your own research, guys, but I'm telling you, that's the key. Even looking at the coaching staffs of those teams that I've mentioned. South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, they're all packed with Southern Hemisphere coaches. No English coaches do well. You could say, well, Clark, he's up in Seattle. They've remained they're good. They haven't separated themselves from the pack yet, but it remains to be seen. It's just the fact that Southern Hemisphere players and coaches do so much better in MLR, and I'm noticing that a lot. So take with that what you will. I mean, you even look at the best players so far statistically on the Jackals. It's South Africans and an Argentinian. Yeah. So take with that what you will, and let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys again very soon. Cheers, guys.